Welcome to the final UFC 300 predictions coming up, obviously tonight. Final predictions on who's going to win and really what I think is going to be the defining difference for the winner in the fight and what's really going to matter in those fights and really what you should be looking out for in those fights. I'll show you who I think is going to win. And getting on to the first fight, obviously, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. I don't see how Figueiredo doesn't get this win. I think he's been at that top level more recently. He's only just coming off a couple, coming off that top end to fight Cody. So I think he gets a win. I think he's just been at that top level more recently. So on to the next fight, which is Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I see Bobby Green getting this done. I don't see, obviously, the amazing achievement for Jim Miller coming into UFC 300, fighting at UFC 100 and 200. But Bobby Green, obviously, lost against Jalen Turner, but is at a good level. That reach is going to be a difficulty for Jim Miller, I think, and I think that's going to be the difference there. Going on to the next fight, Jessica Andrade versus Rodriguez. I think that's going to be a difficult one between two, but I think Rodriguez will do well keeping it range. Andrade lost a couple of times recently, is coming off I think 3 losses actually, so the confidence is on Rodriguez's side, and I think she gets a win at range, keeping it at range over the 3 rounds. Next fight, going in, Jalen Turner versus Moicano. Obviously a very good fight, but obviously, I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be stood up. I think Turner probably does well with the reach advantage he has got. He's got quite a sizable reach advantage, I think 5 inches or something like that. So I think Jalen Turner gets it done using that range and just making Moicano reach. Youssef versus Diego Lopez. I think Diego Lopez gets this done. I think he's going to be a new star for the UFC to use. I don't see how he doesn't just get it down to the ground if there are problems within the fight. I think if there is any problems on the feet, he'll just get it to the ground and win that way. Holly Holm now against Kayla Harris. I think Kayla Harris has got this one. I think again, if there are problems on the feet, I don't see how Holly Holm survives on the ground. So I think Kayla Harris will get her to the ground, and that'll be a problem. I think on the feet as well, the nervousness of Holly Holm to not get taken down will be a problem in this one again. Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling, a very good fight. I think Kattar will do well on the feet against Sterling. I think he'll hold his own, but I think Sterling's got too much ability to just switch it up and do well in that sort of area. Sterling also very top level still. He's really just lost the bout, so I think Sterling, I've got to go with Sterling for his ability and his experience at the top level. Yuri Prochazka versus Rakic. I think it's going to be a strong fight. It really shows if Prochazka's still at that high level. I think Prochazka did very well against Alex Pereira very recently, which I think will cause it to be a problem for Rakic coming in. Obviously had quite a bit of a layoff. I think Prochazka gets it done. He did well against Alex Pereira and held his own for quite a long time in that fight. Going on to the main card, Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I think, as everyone is, Bo Nickel will win this, and I think he'll make it quite decisive. I think he'll try to get it done on the feet, and if he can't, he'll just put him down on the ground and get it done quite quickly. But I do think it's a KO TKO for Bo Nickel in this fight, really. I see there might be some problems, but Bo Nickel's got too much on the ground to really be a major problem for him in this fight. Cody could do well on the feet. I think he's going to hold his own. I think it's going to show Bo Nickel's got a bit of improvement still to be done on the feet. But on the ground, there's just a massive class of difference there. Going on to, I think, one of my favourite fights on the card, Oliveira versus Sarukian. A great fight. I think Oliveira is still at that top level. Sarukian obviously coming up to that top level, which I think is going to make it a very strong fight for everyone to watch. I think it's going to be tough to pick one here, but if I had to pick one, I think it'd be Oliveira. I think he's just done it more at that top level than Sarukian. I think he still is at that top level. He's lost. He lost against Makachev, which isn't really really a hit on the record. I think he does amazingly well, and I think he gets it done. I don't see how he doesn't in that fight. Now going on to Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. I believe it's a 5-rounder for the BMF bout. So it's going to be a strong one. I think Max Holloway has to keep it moving. Justin Gaethje is just too powerful for him at that higher weight. And I think Max Holloway just has to keep that head moving, try and avoid stuff. Justin Gaethje just trying to put one on him. And I think that's as much as it's going to take, put him a combo on him. And I think Justin Gaethje gets it done. I don't see how Justin Gaethje doesn't get a combo on him within 5 rounds. I think it's a KO TKO by Justin Gaethje. Going on to the women's strawweight division. Obviously a championship fight. Zhang Weili versus Yan. I think it's going to be hard for both. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think they're both very good, very at the top of the division. Not massive differences in reach and things, so there's nothing really to talk about there. I do think Weili has got a bit of a stronger just experience. She's done it there. She has lost there, but she has done a lot of the 5-round fights. She does well in them. She's a very strong competitor still, and I think she gets it done with just the experience. I think in the future it could be different. Now going on to Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. I think it really shows if Alex Pereira is really that top guy now, and I think if Jamal Hill keeps it on the feet, I think he loses very not quickly, but I think it's quite decisive. I think you start seeing a class difference very quickly. Jamal Hill has to really take it down, try different things. I think he said in press conferences he's not going to try that. I'd really be decisively saying, if I was a coach, you need to be thinking differently than that. But I think it stays standing long enough for Alex Pereira to get the KO TKO in that fight over 5 rounds. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.